Are you ready for the new year? Because we are starting this today. Fellow investors, bonjour. This is Mike Leroux, founder of Dividend Stocks Rocks and passionate investor. You're listening to the Dividend Guy blog podcast where I and my co-host Véronique will help you invest with more conviction so you can enjoy your retirement. Gold investors, bonjour, Mike Leroux here. You're listening to the Dividend Guy podcast, and this is one of my favorite moments of the year because we're going to record a bunch of episodes back to back so you can have something to listen for the first days of the year. Of course, I am with my co-host Véronique. How are you doing, Véro?
I'm doing good, Mike. Like you've said, it's December 30th. Yeah. But we are sending you our best wishes for the year a bit in advance because, it's the How to Invest in 2025 series that starts today. And we will explain to you what we're going to do this week. So, Mike, what would you like to wish our listeners?
Well, first, I want to thank them. I want to thank you guys because we have done so many things in 2024. Of course, like at the end of the year like this, it's a time to reflect as well. And because of you, we are now a podcast millionaire. So we have more than $1 million. Yeah, I wish a million downloads, not dollar, just downloads, but still we're gonna take it. It's better. It's better than nothing, right? I mean, it means something. So it's amazing journey for the podcast. At Dividend Stocks Rock, we are a few members away to hit the mark of 4,000 active investors, which is amazing. Not too long ago, we had the beta launch for Retirement Loop. If you are in our newsletter, you just got the invite 2 days ago, but we got the beta launch at the beginning of November with our DSR members, so it's going great. So a big thank you to all listeners because if you were not there, well, we would not be able to do that. So in terms of wishes for the new year, along the good old health and wealth, because I mean, there's no point of like spending money if you're not healthy to enjoy it. I would go like I wish you to go for having passions, not being boring, getting outside of your comfort zone, get some chills, do something that makes you feel alive. Once you have health on your side and maybe a little bit of wealth, well, then driving your passions is probably like the most important thing.
And on my side, I would also like to thank you all for your support since 2021. This year will be our fifth together, Mike. And like you've said, we would not be here without you, listeners. And you know what? If you'd like to help us grow more, do not hesitate to subscribe, rate, and share this podcast. Now, Mike, let's share what we will do this week because I mean, it's a little bit like obscure right now. So each
Just get ready for 2025. That's it. Okay, end of the show. Stay tuned for tomorrow.
So each weekday, we will publish a short 10 to 15 minute episode because we believe this format is perfect for this time of the year. You can take advantage of some time off, listen to quick episodes, and take simple action if needed.
So those episodes will be bite-sized. For those who are the like regular listeners to the Moose on the Loose, this is what I do on my side alone. So I just kind of like ramble about anything that I want. So at the Dividend Guy, we're a bit more serious, so we're a bit more focused. So we have specific themes that we are going to develop, but like 10, 15 minutes, as you said, just making sure that you actually take action and you start the year on the right foot.
So in December, we did a complete 2024 market review. You can go back to it at thedividendguyblog.com/204. Tomorrow, we will summarize that episode and also share what themes should impact the market in 2025.
So while I am against sector rotation, it's also important to see how your portfolio reacted to what just happened in 2024. So then you can see, am I well invested to surf like bull markets? And on the other side, maybe you want to position your portfolio in a different way moving forward and make some changes before it's too late and before we hit that famous market crash that everybody talks about for the past 25 years.
And then we'll start 2025 on the right foot with the perfectly balanced portfolio. To do that, we'll discuss sector allocation and stock categories. How can this help investors, Mike?
Well, we keep talking about like, oh, having a diversification is important, yada yada, but what really does that mean and what's the impact on your portfolio? So what happens is when there's a crisis on the market, it usually starts affecting a specific sector. So best example is we had the financial crisis in 2008, but we also had the tech bubble in 2000. During those
Mhm.
two crises, of course, the entire market fell into the domino effect where everything was going down, but some sectors were not that bad. But if you had invested massively in the NASDAQ in 2000, well, you took probably like 15 years to recover. While if you were well diversified and invested in several sectors, several industries, at that point, you recovered after 4 years. So
Mhm.
it's a great way to protect your portfolio, but also to ensure that you're going to have a steady growth. Diversification helps you to sleep well at night. And instead of like being worried about what's going to happen in 25, if Trump is going to impose tariffs, if the Canadian economy is going to go into a deep recession, or if we're going to finally see China tumbling and then generating a huge market crash, well, you can build a fortress with your portfolio, something strong enough to go through any economic turmoils and still convince you that you made the right decision of being invested.
On Thursday, we will share a quick way to ensure that your holdings are safe with a stock checklist.
Yeah, so it's one thing to be diversified with your sectors, but you also have to verify your stocks. We keep talking about please do your due diligence. This is not financial
Mhm.
advice. And then I feel that most investors they just shut down those warnings like when they hear them because they hear them all the time in
Mhm.
disclaimers everywhere. But the point is the following: if you do not do your due diligence, you don't know what you own and why you own it. And if you don't, that's dangerous. So that checklist is actually a tool to help you do that due diligence. We're going to explain to you what it means and how you can verify if the companies that you hold are still the good investment for your situation, for your portfolio.
Finally, you don't want to miss Friday's episode because we will discuss portfolio protection at retirement, or should I say, maybe income protection at retirement. So, Mike, give us like quick hints.
So yeah, so there are many ways to create your paycheck at retirement. And the great news is there are many ways that works, but you kind of have to need to clean up everything and understand the pros and the cons for each strategy. So we're going to talk about several of them and we have more than just talking about having a cash reserve in this episode, that's for sure.
Mike, throughout the series, we will invite listeners to download free resources, including our Top Stocks booklet for the year. What is it?
Yeah, so we have like a full library of stuff to offer you this week. That's going to be crazy. So yes, it starts with a stock booklet, but we're going to have a lot more.
Mhm.
Um, the stock booklet started from a long time tradition before I created Dividend Stocks Rock. I always like to start a year with my top stocks, trying to like find out which companies should outperform the market or more specifically its sector. So each year I make a full list. So DSR members receive about 24, 25 per year. But in the coming days, you're going to have the opportunity to download a short version of this with 6 free stock ideas. So hopefully I've picked the best one out of the 25. Who knows? But yeah, so they are selected by sectors. They are selected based on having a strong dividend triangle and to have like some growth vectors for the year to come.
You can already download the Top Stocks booklet at thedividendguyblog.com/topstocks. Well, thank you, Mike, for pulling up this series with me. Listeners, at any time during the week, you can visit our show notes and related content at thedividendguyblog.com/208. And to avoid missing any episodes, subscribe to the show now. Until tomorrow, stay invested.
Hey fellow investors, it's Mike here. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. Please note that the Dividend Guy Blog podcast is at no time issuing buy or sell recommendation. Please do your own due diligence as this podcast is recorded for information and hopefully fun purposes only. Make your research, make sure you do your stuff. We're not responsible for your losses or your profit after listening to this episode. And until next one, stay invested.